Alright. Welcome back to Lenz Comic Corner Classic Lesson Classics. This is episode number 1525 and Doubleshot number 1419. I got two Marvel trades. First up it is Amazing Spider-Man Volume, this is not a joke, 13. And this collects issues 61 to 65 of Amazing Spider-Man Volume, I believe this is Volume 6. Yes, 6. Along with a one-shot. You're thinking, really? A one-shot? Yes, believe it or not, one of two story arcs in a row Nick Spencer did were ended with a one-shot. And you're thinking, really? Yes, really. And this particular storyline started in... this is a fairly recent storyline. This started in March of just this year. And this was actually wrapped up back in May. Excuse me. Yep, May. Now, this particular book is done by Nick Spencer. I will be discussing this. Don't worry about that. This book, well, for the artwork in here, for the first two issues of this trade, it's done by Patrick Gleason. Yes, that's a familiar artist. Now, the rest of the book is mostly done by, well, for 60 to 65, it's Federico Benedetti with on issue 65, Federico Sabatini. The giant-sized one-shot is by Raga Antino with Carlos Gomez and Z. Carlos. Now, the big thing with this... Now, there's a few things with the story arc. Number one, we actually have Peter Parker joining the new media agency known as Threats and Menaces, named after a saying that J. Jonah Jameson used to say about Spider-Man. Since now he's more positive about Spider-Man. And here's the thing. This actually is something Chip Zdarsky did. And in my opinion, this actually was a smart move on Chip Zdarsky to do. Because Jameson's negativity about Spider-Man has gone on for way too long. And I think they should basically move on from that. And Chip Zdarsky had it in an issue of his run where Peter Parker revealed his identity to J. Jonah Jameson. And because of that, Jameson is actually more positive for Spider-Man. He may not get along with him very much, but he's actually a lot more nicer to him. Which kudos for that. And apparently because of Peter joining this agency, Peter decides to wear this ridiculous new costume. Yes, this brand new costume that makes him look like Snide. Yeah, it's a thief villain who the original was dead for some time. Then of course Spider-Man chased him again. He didn't know he was dead. He turns out he was chasing an undercover cop. So the point of this particular suit is that it's part of Spider-Man livestream, get lower positive reception for Spider-Man in New York City. Now, Mayor Fisk is actually meeting with several big crime bosses during this storyline, for the first portion of the storyline. And he's meeting with, all people. Now, some of these people you're like, really? He's meeting with these people? Okay. We have Hammerhead, the Owl, which these two don't get along. Now you're probably thinking, Hammerhead and the Owl. Now, Hammerhead is the Spider-Man villain. The Owl is a Daredevil villain who for some reason has not appeared in Daredevil since Mark Waid's run, which is kind of weird. Now, the other people who are at this particular thing are a few other crime bosses. Oh yeah, and by the way, they want to get their hands on Boomerang. No, not Captain Boomerang from DC. This Boomerang, the one who's been a supporting character in this run. He's been basically just crashing at Peter Parker's place Universe of Gog here. And we also have Noah Winters. Yes. Now, here's the thing. About Noah Winters. For a long time, she had pretty much disappeared from Marvel. Yeah, she disappeared for a long time. Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, her last appearance was in Superior Spider-Man 16, which is back in 2013, where she got fired from Daily Bugle, and then she came back. Guess how long it took for her to make a return for Noah Winters? It took her 5 years. Yes, 5 years to make a return for this character. And Nick Spencer is being pretty much a sporadic character in this book, which is interesting. Yes. Yeah, pretty much made her a sporadic character in this book. I mean, she was appearing like at the start for like one issue, and she's appeared like a couple issues. But she's appearing more on a regular basis since, of course, issue 37. She was here mostly up until issue 47. Like, 37 to 47 was pretty much a sporadic recurring character. And now she's back for more recent stuff. Mm-hmm. Even appearing in one of even Spider-Man's new spin-off ongoing series, Non-Stop Spider-Man by Joe Kelly. Yep, Joe Kelly. Yep. Now, Peter, of course, is recruited to the agency. Given a new costume. And the other people basically he's meeting with is other than... We also have Silvermane, who is still ahead, which is strange. Now, he has been like this since Superior Force of Spider-Man. Now, Nick Spencer wrote that, so this is an obvious reference to that, which I think is so nice. And the other people here are Tombstone, Crime Master. This is a new one. I think this is the one Dan Slott created for when he showed up in Superior Venom. Also, Madame Mask is here. Yes, Madame Mask is in this storyline. Well, at the beginning. Let's see if we can find the right issue here. And we also have a guest appearance by Bullseye, who's hunting him. And you're thinking, Bullseye in Amazing Spider-Man? Yeah, that is weird. Like, why the heck would Bullseye even bother with this at all? Oh, and the other people who are not really clearly seen here are, in fact, well, let's see. We also have Willis Stryker is in this issue. You're thinking, that's interesting. It was a cameo. Also, Black Mari and Luke Cage villain. Mr. Negative. And, of course, freaking Bullseye. And we also the first appearance at the end of the first issue of the Boomerang Revenge Squad. And you're thinking, what? A Boomerang Revenge Squad? Yes. Who practically made their debut in pretty much issue 61. And they're comprised of 3 people. Hydro Man, the Shocker, and there's like one other person who appears in this storyline. It also has Speed Demon. Yes, Speed Demon. Now you're thinking, is Speed Demon a Spider-Man villain? Not originally, no, but he did take up the name Speed Demon in the Amazing Spider-Man series. He was originally a member of the Squadron Sinister. No, seriously, that's what he originally was part of when he would call himself, of all things, the Wizard. You're thinking, why the heck would he call himself the Wizard? It was an alias he assumed back in the 70s. It was something Roy Thomas gave him. Now, if you don't know who the Wizard is, he's a Golden Age speedster from Marvel Comics. At one point, this guy was assumed to be the father of Quicksilver and Scarlet Witch, because he's got the same powers as him, but nope, not really. We also have flashbacks up with the Kindred. Yes, the whole point of this here is just set up Nick Spencer's final story arc. And then we have something quite interesting happening in this story arc, where it is revealed that Robbie Robinson's son, Randy Robinson, and the daughter of Tombstone, Janet Lincoln, aka the current Beetle, who is the creation of Ed Brubaker, by the way, are dating. And by the way, their fathers hate this. Yep. And this is one thing I love about this story arc, is that these two had to put their differences aside to save their kids from Hammerhead, who kidnaps both of them. And of course, well, and this part is indeed true. Now, Tombstone told Robbie that he did not want his daughter to become a criminal. Nope, he did not want that at all. He wanted to become a lawyer, which she technically is a lawyer in her secret identity. It's just that she wears the Beetle costume to commit crimes. As far as I know, the Beetle has never been arrested she's been captured once, but she's never been in jail before. Not that I can think of, no. Yep, so, and then of course there's a mention here about, oh yeah, like I would love to have a rematch with you, basically referencing an old Jerry Conway issue from Peter Parker, from this particular Spider-Man issue 150. Yep, I thought that was so interesting. So all these crime bosses are after Boomerang. Why? Because he wants the tabloids guy. Yep. No one else in this story arc, but he doesn't really do anything. Though here's the thing, this story arc also return of the Syndicate. No, not the Sinister Syndicate, the Syndicate, which is comprised of White Rabbit, the female Electro, Scorpina, the Trapster, who is a woman, by the way. I didn't know who this woman was at some point. He has a Trapster. Now, here's the thing. Her name is Frankie. She was at one point, she originally died back in the first issue of Amazing Spider-Man back, I think it was like in 2014. She got accidentally killed by Electro when his powers got out of control. And then here's the thing. 1 year later, she gets revived in the very first story arc of Dan Slott's relaunch run, where she's cloned. Yeah, she's a clone, even though they don't bring it up anymore. But she's one of the stable ones. Yes, one of the stable clones. They got unstable during the Clone Conspiracy. Now, the whole idea of having a female Electro, this is nothing new. This actually was a concept from MC2, except that character was a daughter of the original Electro. This one was apparently a little girlfriend of his. And she used to have tattoos and piercings. And apparently the Jackal, who was actually Ben Reilly, yeah, he's responsible for this. Not Miles Warren. Ben Reilly is responsible for bringing this character back to life. In story. She's only dead for like a year. White Rabbit. She's a character from Marvel Team Up. Now, in the case of Scorpina, I believe she's a creation. She's actually something that actually showed up, I think it was in the pages of Amazing Fantasy, where she basically was female Scorpion. And she did have an encounter with the original Scorpion. And she's called herself Scorpina. She originally was called Lady Scorpion, and then she just called herself Scorpina. And they really want to go after, well, Boomerang for basically stuff he did. And of course, Spider-Man calls backup. Mainly, the New Avengers. The Brian Michael Bendis lineup, mostly. And he contacts Luke Cage, Iron Fist, Wolverine, Jessica Jones, and Hawkeye. And here's the thing. They're not called the New Avengers. They're just simply just a group of heroes. And they actually mentioned about the whole thing about there was reunion dinner, which Peter knew nothing about. The fact that also, like, he would love to do reunions, but, like, yeah, he did. Like, yeah, or his Defenders. can't be Defenders. I never did that. Yeah, he did. He's probably referencing Secret Defenders from the 90s. Even though he was never part of the original Defenders, I think it was quite interesting. So, they agree to help him save Boomerang. And of course, you have Luke Cage saying Avengers Assemble. Despite the fact this is kind of an Avengers team, which is basically kind of a new Avengers reunion, I love the referencing Brian Michael Bendis' New Avengers because I love that lineup. Now, this lineup mostly is definitely from Bendis' era. You know, Luke Cage, Iron Fist, Jessica Jones, Spider-Woman. Which for some reason, Spider-Woman in this book is actually in her original costume. Despite, I think she went back to this costume. She was wearing a black costume briefly in her own book. Yep. And they fight to save Boomerang. And then the Black Cat shows up. Yes, the Black Cat. Even though she's got her own solo book, so why would she appear here? So, we have this wizard here who basically passed off a tablet to... piece of tablet to Spider-Man. And the tablet gets in the hands of the Kingpin. Boomerang goes back to be a criminal for some reason. Because, well, that's what he had to do. So the Kingpin, he really wanted to resurrect his beautiful dead wife. He wanted that, but he realized, though, she probably wouldn't want that. So, he decided to do something completely unexpected. Nick Spencer undoes something that Bendis did. Yes. I mean, he did two things Peter David did. Later on after this, he undid something that Dan Slott did. But this is something Brian Michael Bendis did back in 2002. He killed off this character in the Underboss storyline for Daredevil. Yes, this character had been dead for 19 years. And you're thinking, really? He was dead for this long and no one ever thought of bringing him back? Yeah, he appeared as a clone. But an actual resurrectionist character? Which one? Richard Fisk, the Rose. And the first thing he said is, "Hello, Daddy." And I'm thinking, why would a grown man call his father Daddy? I would think he'd call him Dad or Father. Nope, call him Daddy. Even though that, here's the thing. The only other character who does this is Darren Cross's son. He's the only other person who does this. And this is shocking, to say the least. The return of Richard Fisk. And you might ask, did he appear after this one shot? He did. He appeared in the following issue that started out the very next story, The Chameleon Conspiracy. And that's been it. I don't know if there's any more plans for him. I was shocked the fact that they brought this character back. And then we have an epilogue in here of 4 pages focusing on Dr. Octopus. Where he's looking for a grave and it's empty. And then he gets knocked out by somebody. Who is it? The King Dread. And what is the point of this 4-page Dr. Octopus story? To set up the current story that's going right now in Amazing Spider-Man Sinister War. This book is really good. I thoroughly enjoy this. This is something I really enjoy about Nick Spencer's. It's just so good. It just redeemed itself on some of the bad stuff Dan Slott was doing for the book. I give this book roughly a 10 out of 10. It's just really good. Yeah, it's thoroughly enjoyable. It kind of, in a way, basically kind of writes Boomerang out of the book. My guess is, and this is just my personal theory of why Nick Spencer is for, despite the fact kind of basically making Boomerang an anti-hero. My guess is he was wrapping up his run, and he decided to basically put the character back to be a villain. Because he wanted to run with series because his run's about to end soon. As a matter of fact, currently, his run has only got about 2 issues left. Yep, I think it's been confirmed that 74 is going to be his final issue. Okay, it's actually volume 5, this current volume, yes. I think 74 is confirmed to be his final issue of his run. Yeah, 74 is his last issue, and then we have a brand new creative team with issue 75, which is actually issue number 876. Yep. His final issue is 875. It's going to be a double-sized finale for his run. Yep. So yeah, his run's only got about 2 more issues left. I'm looking forward to basically finish reviewing it. Like, I have thoroughly enjoyed Nick Spencer's run. I have a friend Edgar. He is not a really big fan of this run that much. Because the whole thing of implying he might undo the marriage of Peter Parker, undoing Half One More Day. I don't think he plans on doing that. He just basically he basically makes the book fun. It feels like a Spider-Man book, not something whatever Dan Slott think it is. And for one thing, it actually features characters who actually are regular Spider-Man characters, like features his villains, his supporting characters that feature pretty prominently. I think like the only character who has not really appeared very much in this run is Aunt May. Yeah, she hasn't really appeared very much at all. Not really, no. I do appreciate that they brought back Nora Winters. Yep, they brought her back after 5 years. Yep. And, of course, they're going to soon bring in Carly Cooper to play a small role for the end of this run. And the Kindred is an interesting character. I love the fact Nick Spencer basically kind of in a way created this character and pretty much built him up over the course of the past 3 years. And him ending his run issue 74, in my opinion, is fine. I have personally no problem with it at all. I think he's done all he wanted to do with the book. And, well, I'll probably be reviewing it whenever that trade comes out. Alright, this next book is huge. This is Marvel. Yes, it's a 6-issue miniseries. Now, all this cover here is an Alex Ross cover. Now, there are multiple different writers on here. You have the overture done by Alex Ross, Steve Darno, and Kurt Busiek. Alex Ross does pretty much all the covers of this book. Marvel number 1 is done by Frank Esposito and Sanjin City. Of course, Kurt Busiek gets the backup story. Dan Bruton does issue 2 with Eric Powell. We also have Paulo Rivera, Alan Weiss, Bill Sienkiewicz, Scott Gufson, Ryan Hoskett, Daniel Kuna, Hilary Barton, Doug Rice, Alex Ross, Gene Ha and Xander Cannon, Adam Hughes, Mark Waid, One-Eyed Gambit, Lee, that's from Greg Smallwood, Lee Bajero, and that's it. Where is that story? Yeah. One of the stories in here features the original Black Widow. And you're thinking, is Natasha Romanoff, Yelena Belova? Nope, it's... if I can find the story here. Yeah, it's a character that nobody... I think for a lot of people, they probably have never heard of this one before. I think it's basically her taking on the frickin' Red Skull. Let's see if we can find it here. She is, in fact, a mystic. She's basically a spellcaster. It's called Black Widow in Hell. This is her. That's the original Black Widow right here. That's her. Yep. And this is done in the style of basically like something out of the 40s. Let's see if I can find her here. Her name is Clairvoyant. That is her name. She appeared in a few issues of Mystic Comics, and She also recently appeared in the 12, and she appeared in this book here. Mm-hmm. Yeah, apparently she at one point was part of the Invaders, which is interesting. Yep. Yeah, pretty much what her character is, she's basically a magical based character. Mm-hmm. Though she's fighting the Red Skull in his old World War II costume. Yep. Now, pretty much this is just a series of stories set in various different time periods over the years, including the 90s, because issue 4's cover is the back cover for this. Because it's X-Force. Yep, X-Force. And you think, did Rob Liefeld work on this? No, he didn't. Now, if you know these characters, like, you know these basically back your head. Now, a small chunk of these characters, I'd say at least 4 of them are creations of Rob Liefeld. Cable, Deadpool, Shatterstar, Domino. This is Warbird. I believe he's a Chris Claremont character. That is Cannonball in the back. And this is Boom Boom. On the front cover, we have a variety of characters. We have, on the top, we have the Hulk, Spider-Man, Human Torch. I believe this is supposed to be Johnny Storm. And Iron Man. That's who's on the top. The very next row, the guy with the scar on his mouth, that's actually Nick Fury. And you're thinking, wait, that can't be Nick Fury. Where's the eye patch? That's the version from World War II. Yes. Who is the Western gunfighter? That is the Rawhide Kid. A Western superhero who is gay. Yep, they revealed this back in 2002 in the Rawhide miniseries. Mm-hmm. Yep. We also have Marvel Girl, Reed Richards, Doctor Strange. Who's this guy here? Quicksilver. Thor, Daredevil, The Thing, Scarlet Witch, Cyclops, Captain America, Sue Storm, and the Submariner. Basically, the best way to describe this, it's Astro City Marvel style. Basically, it's a series of stories focused on a bunch of Marvel characters set in very different time periods like the 40s, the 90s, the 80s, the 60s. All different time periods. I do recommend it if you're a long-time Marvel fan. You would love this series. Alex Ross does a fantastic job basically spearheading this stuff. And most people, just him and Kurt Busiek basically running this stuff for this. And because this miniseries successfulness, like being financially successful for Marvel, they made an ongoing series of this called The Marvels. Which I think is about 3 issues in right now. Yep. The story with Namor is simply him just, how should I put this? Him dancing and then basically poking fun of his anti-hero status. Surprisingly, despite Daredevil's on the cover, there's no story for him in the book. Nope, there's something Fantastic Four, Spider-Man, the Avengers, the Hulk. This is just a fun book. And the book is huge. Like, oh my gosh, it's so freaking huge. Like, compare this to the book I just reviewed, Amazing Spider-Man. Look how much bigger the book is. I mean, damn, the book is huge. And you might be thinking, wait, didn't you just review a book around this size? Like, just a few episodes back with that Superman versus Wonder Woman one? Yeah. But that was a one-shot. This is a mini-series. And surprisingly, this is a paperback. Despite the fact it feels like a hardcover, but yeah, it's a paperback. But it's huge. Yeah, I didn't expect this thing to be so freaking huge. Now, yeah, the cover price thing is $30, but it's well worth paying the price for this thing because it is good. I love this stuff. Like, just various stories, like various untold stories. Like, they even have a story featuring, like, the X-Men and the Hulk in the 90s. We have Cyclops in his Jim Lee costume, which is awesome. Yeah. Book is amazing. 10 out of 10. Try to find it, ladies and gentlemen. It is so good. You would thoroughly enjoy that. Yep. And it's just by sheer coincidence that Kurt Busiek and Alex Ross decided to do this just, I don't know, about 2 or 3 years after they wrap up Astro City. Oh, and I almost forgot to mention, the character here in the bottom, that's actually a woman. I believe her name is Farrell, if I'm not mistaken. Yep. Yeah. One thing I at least appreciate, though, about this back cover, we have the characters in their 90s looks, which is so awesome. I love that. Like, if you're a fan of, like, X-Force, you would love this, like the classic Rob Liefeld stuff. Yep. So, yeah, that's a particular review. Then our next review, which will be Drugstore and the World. Okay? Next video.